Vaccines. Vaccines is a subject which is on the front page everywhere. Hi, I'm Kamlesh. Today I will be talking on vaccines. What are vaccines? Vaccines are products that produce immunity to a specific disease. When you're immune to a disease, it means you are protected against that disease. You can be exposed to it without becoming sick. Most vaccines are given by injection, that is needle, but some are given orally by mouth or nasally sprayed into the nose. History. The story of vaccines did not begin with the first vaccine. Edward Jenner's use of material from cowpox pustules to provide protection against smallpox. Rather, it begins with the long history of infectious disease in humans, and in particular with early uses of smallpox material to provide immunity to that disease. Evidence exists that the Chinese employed smallpox inoculation or variolation as such use of smallpox material was called as early as 1000 CE. It was practiced in Africa and Turkey as well before it spread to Europe and the Americas. Edward Jenner's innovations began with his successful 1796 use of cowpox material to create immunity to smallpox quickly made the practice widespread. His method underwent medical and technological changes over the next 200 years and eventually resulted in the eradication of smallpox. Louis Pasteur's 1885 rabies vaccine was the next to make an impact on human disease. And then at the dawn of bacteriology, developments rapidly followed. Antitoxins and vaccines against diphtheria, tetanus, anthrax, cholera, plague, typhoid, tuberculosis, and more were developed through the 1930s. The middle of the 20th century was an active time for vaccine research and development. Methods for growing viruses in the laboratory led to rapid discoveries and innovations, including the creation of vaccine for polio. Researchers targeted other common childhood diseases such as measles, mumps, and rubella, and vaccines for these diseases reduced the disease burden greatly. Innovative techniques now drive vaccine research with recombinant DNA technology and new delivery techniques, leading scientists in new directions. Disease targets have expanded, and some vaccine research is beginning to focus on non-infectious conditions such as addiction and allergies. More than the science behind vaccines, these timelines cover cultural aspects of vaccination as well, from the early harassment of smallpox violators. See the intimidation of his prominent minister described in the 1721 Boston smallpox epidemic entry to the establishment of vaccination mandates, to the effect of war and social unrest on vaccine-preventable diseases. Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, and Maurice Hilleman, pioneers in vaccine development, received particular attention as well. Vaccination, good or bad? A vaccine is a medical product. Vaccines, though they are designed to protect from disease, can cause side effects such as any medication can. Most side effects from vaccination are mild, such as soreness, swelling, or redness at the injection site. Some vaccines are associated with fever, rash, and achiness. Serious side effects are rare but may include seizure or life-threatening allergic reaction. A possible side effect resulting from a vaccination is known as an adverse effect. To understand the range of possible vaccination side effects events, it is useful to compare vaccine relatively few associated side effects such as the vaccine for Haemophilus influenza type B with a vaccine known to have many potential side effects such as the infrequently used smallpox vaccine given to military personnel and others who might be first responders in the event of a military attack. Haemophilus influenza type B is a bacterium that can cause serious infections, including meningitis, pneumonia, epiglottis, and sepsis. The CDC recommends that children receive a series of HIV vaccinations starting when they are 2 months old. Smallpox is a serious infection, fatal in 30% to 40% of cases, and caused by the variola major or variola minor virus. No wild smallpox cases have been reported since the 1970s. The World Health Organization has declared it eradicated. The information below about side effects of HIV and smallpox vaccination is from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. HIV vaccine side effects: redness, warmth, or swelling where the shot was given, up to 1 out of 4 children; fever over 101 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 1 out of 20 children. No serious side effects have been related to the HIV vaccine. Mild rash lasting 2 to 4 days, swelling and tenderness of lymph nodes lasting 2 to 4 weeks after the blister has healed, fever of over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, about 70% of children, 70% of adults, over 102 degrees Fahrenheit above, about 50% to 20% of children, under 2% of adults. Secondary blister elsewhere on the body, about 1 per 1,900. Moderate to severe problems: serious eye infection or loss of vision due to spread of vaccine virus to the eye, rash on entire body as many as 1 per 4,000, severe rash on people with eczema as many as 1 per 26,000, encephalitis, severe brain reactions which can lead to permanent brain damage as many as 1 per 83,000, severe infection beginning at the vaccination site as many as 1 per 7,000, mostly in people with weakened immune systems. Death 1 to 2 per million, mostly in people with weakened immune systems. For every million people vaccinated for smallpox, between 14 and 50 could have a life-threatening reaction to smallpox vaccine. Dr. Ali Bhutto on vaccines. Rashid Ali Bhutto is an American osteopathic physician, conspiracy theorist, and anti-vaccine proponent from Charlotte, North Carolina. He is known for his controversial use of chelation therapy for numerous conditions including autism and cancer. Bhutto questions what role lobbying by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services played in Frontline decision to air such a skewed report. In a recent Reader's Digest interview, HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius admitted to meeting with media in an effort to undermine vaccine detractors, saying, "We have reached out to media outlets to try to get them to not give the views of those people equal weight in their reporting to what science has shown and continue to show about the safety of vaccines." Concern about vaccines are legitimate and growing. Once proclaimed as one of the greatest achievements of modern medicine, vaccines, their frequency and the combinations have become the subject of increasing unrest within the medical and scientific community since 1989. Perhaps questioning the need and the prudence of the child receiving so many shots and the administration of previously singularly administered vaccines combined into super shots such as the MMR triple shot are often met with scorn, derision, and admonishment from doctors. The fact is that vaccines do contain dangerous toxic substances. One of the most dangerous of these is mercury, which is present as a preservative in most vaccines, including the flu shot. While many believe mercury was removed from vaccines in 2002, thimerosal or ethyl mercury is still used in the manufacturing process of almost all vaccines, but that fact is no longer disclosed on the vaccine labels. Dr. Bhutto not alone in his frontline experience. Fellow vaccine critics Dr. Joy Gordon and Dr. Robert Sears were also interviewed extensively but then edited out of the piece. The show made a mockery of journalism, says Bhutto, because it showcased the opinions of a group of experts, some of whom benefit financially from vaccine developments, while at the same time it minimalized the real concerns in question as nothing more than unsubstantiated hysteria. Why didn't they show a single physician who agreed with the parents who were against vaccinations? Frontline purposefully repeated pro-vaccine doctors, painted as tireless advocates for children against anti-vaccine parents who were portrayed as selfish, irrational, and paranoid individuals lacking medical knowledge and common sense. The end result was a biased piece of tabloid journalism that only serves to further confuse, frighten, and divide those who question vaccines from those who blindly follow medical rhetoric, creating needless controversy rather than an intended forum for discussion. Dr. Bhutto remains steadfast in the challenge he made during his unaired interview with Frontline. Tells the NIH, CDC, FDA, or any vaccine manufacturer that I publicly challenge them to select any 20 cases of autism, send them all to an independent university, and have that university's independent pediatric neurologist evaluate all 20 children. Let those neurologists identify the 10 most severe cases, and I will take them on as patients and treat them using my methods. Let the other 10 cases be treated with whatever conventional standard of care treatment they see fit, but it all must be framed and followed so that the world can determine the truth for itself, says Bhutto. After having treated over 1,000 patients in my own clinic and having tens of thousands of children treated using our methodologies all over the world, I already know that the results will be. The problem is, so do they. Watch Dr. Rashid Bhutto's interview at this link or click on this icon. Thanks a lot for your attention. If you like the presentation, don't forget to subscribe and press the like button.